On my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again with another episode of Future Financial Strategies. I had to bump the episode that I was going to have this week because the markets are getting brutalized further. Now we're doing the financial updates. Obviously, last month, ugly. This month, we're in tariff season. We're in tax season, which is something that people aren't talking about. We are also in tax season, folks. For those of you who do taxes last minute, I know you're out there. So let's get started. But before we do that, let's make sure we hit the like button on the way in. If you've been here more than twice, hit the subscribe button. If you are hate watching and you've hate watched more than twice, hit the subscribe button so that you can hate watch more efficiently. I need to make sure that you get the first thumbs down because you don't want to be the second place thumbs downer. You want to be the first because if you're not first, you're last, and you don't want to be a loser and a hater at the same time. Also, for those of you who are in the Wolf Pack, those of you who are new subscribers, welcome. Even those of you who hate watching, I consider you part of the Wolf Pack. I make this for you too because I want you to be able to compete with us on even ground so that we can beat you plain and simply because we're better. Because we are. But shout out to the Wolf Pack. Shout out to the new members of the Wolf Pack, those of you who are new subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen, tap in with me. Hopefully you're getting some value out of these episodes. I'm liking the feedback. I'm loving more comments down there because I do answer them. So tap in with the comments. I am getting rid of those evil bots as fast as possible. This is a PSA. The people who are sharing private keys on my videos, I have no idea how a nothing burger channel like this is getting bots already. But I mean, maybe it means that I'm doing something right because they felt the need to come over to this channel to spam their spam. But fortunately, I am active in the comments, so I'm deleting them and blocking them. So they only get to do it once, and then that account gets deleted forever. So whoever's botting my channel, trying to scam people in the comments, you only get to try out it once. Then you got to make another account. So it's going to be a lot of work doing that over here because I got the time to sift through my comments because there ain't a bunch of them yet. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. The markets went bedlam. We saw Bitcoin drop below 80,000. They broke the 80,000 support. We fell all the way down to 70. I think I saw 76. I'm not checking the market because on red days, I only check over lunch to put in some buys because it's depressing to look at all day. But I did see it get as low as 76 on the way into work, which, ugly territory, but hardcore starting dollar cost averaging. And I had to make some decisions this morning when I woke up. And I talked about this in my other video that you guys will have seen for my portfolio update because I shot that a day before today. This bedlamming happened. I got my monthly financials done, and then I came to the conclusion that I pretty much just want to sit in MSTY and LFGY. That's kind of where I'm at now. Now that we're in a bad spot, time for some tax loss harvesting. We cleared out the margin for a little bit. We'll be deploying back up to that margin level before the MSTY payout. As we're building back up, I'm keeping notation of the positions that I have, but at current, we are going to be in a very hardcore level of accumulation, which means that I'm not worried about the distributions for anything. We're buying as little as possible. We are doing everything that we can to stay in the lexicon of our buying. We're managing the debt. We're still going to be working towards getting that debt paid off, but we had to make some pivots. So we're going to talk about that next. Pivots we are making are going to be obviously sacrificing. We're tax loss harvesting our Morrow position. I will likely not be getting back into that in this portfolio anytime soon. I won't be getting into anything in this portfolio anytime soon besides MSTY and LFGY. We got rid of our YETH position. Hard cut, but it was a good tax loss harvest. We will bring that back later, most likely. Maybe. It depends. I might take a play from my well, no, I won't. We're going to not. I mean, right now, I don't want anything but LFGY and Misty, with the exception of the updated Misty strategy. I'm going to do what I'm doing with my MSTR strategy. It just makes sense. So that way we can capture and start shielding some of these losses when the market goes bedlam. So what we're doing is a saddle strategy. A lot of people start doing covered calls on their own. Oh man, allergy season. A lot of people start throwing in their own covered calls. I'm not going to do that, at least not in this portfolio. We're going to do what I consider a simple deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring to the screen, because we're going to break down each of these positions. So first and foremost, we're going to have the bread and butter. We got the Yield Max MSTR Options Income Strategy ETF, which is Misty, MSTY. What is that? Quick rundown. Misty is capitalizing on the volatility of MicroStrategy MSTR stock. It's a long strategy more often than not. They do have some puts in there for hedging purposes to keep us from completely falling off a cliff. But overall, we're gaming on volatility going up. That means that you're going to have volatility going down as well. So this price dips also along with the rest of the market. As you can see, MSTY is currently down 6.74%. We're down to 1924. Got a buy-in today at 1950. People will be like, oh, you lost money today. My average cost, because I dollar cost average this position all the time, including when we hit $40, is 28 and dropping like a brick, because I'm buying as much as I can now, and I'm buying specifically into this position. So we did some tax loss harvests, did another decent size buy. And when I say going all in, I'm not rich like most of the people on Reddit. A lot of the Redditors, they have like hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're already basically retired. They're just playing with money, which is cool. For me, this is my livelihood. So it's basically all the money that I have. I'm not going to sell my house. I had somebody snidely remark, oh, sell your house. Like, yeah, go homeless to go buy some stock that is highly volatile. It sounds like a great idea, especially for somebody who's already a Bitcoin holder that has over a Bitcoin. Like, I'm good, bro. Like, I don't need to sell my house. But out of my W-2 income that comes in, most of it is going into this position. We are slowly working towards getting it so that our check gets dumped into this position as well. And we are looking at, when we're sub 20, I will be buying back in up until at least up until my average cost, whatever that is, once the trend reverses. Now, how long do I think this is going to be down? Some people are saying, oh, next week after the tariffs get settled. Oh, after tax day. Because you got to keep in mind tax day. Nobody's talking about tax day. Everybody's talking tariffs. People are selling off positions across the board because they have to pay taxes and they don't have the money to pay taxes. Like, we were looking at doing the exact same thing with this portfolio, and I just decided to defer them and pay in chunks out of the dividend. But not everybody did that. So, you got options here, but a lot of people don't manage their money well. They don't have the money to pay it back. They don't have a mechanism to pay it back. So they have to carve into assets to pay back. And then you hope that they made money on the upswing on that. And then whatever. Oh, good Lord. It is allergy filled in here today. That's crazy. Whatever they had in the market has gone up, and they're using profits versus having to carve into that. But who knows? Like, I built an income machine. I'm intending to use the income from the income machine to pay back the taxes. I don't want to cut into the income. So we tax loss harvested tomorrow because we're definitely going to have some gains this year and some dividends. So that'll cut into that. And Misty is the core of this strategy. This is where the income comes from. So sub $20, when we get down in the 19s, people are saying we could see 18, 17 tomorrow. We saw 18 today at the dippity dip. People got buys in at 18.50. I was kind of jealous. It was $1 less than what I got, but then it shot back up past what I bought for a little bit today. And now that the market's closed, we're back down to 19.24. I'm not complaining. Anything under $20 is really eating into my average cost, and I'm trying to drag that thing down as much as I can. Period. Like that's all there is to say about that. Like I want to drag that cost down. Now, the updated MSTY strategy. Let's talk about that. The update is, as we are dragging this down, part of our deployment and part of our tax loss harvest from Maro and YETH, the sacrifice that was made, the capturing those losses, because now we have solidified losses in this portfolio. Going to be pretty interesting moving forward. We're buying a lot of MSTY, but I'm also going to take a $500 position, most likely tomorrow, on the next position stock that we're looking at, which we also have in the long-term portfolio right now. The Defiance Daily Targeted 2x Long MSTR ETF, MSTX. Why? 2x leverage long. When you hit the dippity dip, or when you start dollar cost averaging those dips, I'm going to start allocating a certain amount of funds towards the hedge for the portfolio. Now, this doesn't really affect the LFGY position because that's industry specific, which covers Marathon Digital, all the crypto positions. That's the diversification within the space position. It's also a weekly payer. So we're gonna start bolstering that up. So I'm gonna be getting some more shares of that also, likely tomorrow. But for my hedge and the straddle that we're doing, this is 2x long. So when it dips down low and we're going to be buying a lot of MSTY. I'm also going to start allocating a few $100, couple of $100 here and there towards buying the Defiance Daily 2x long MSTR ETF, MSTX. The reason we're doing that is because then when the price shoots back up, I'll have appreciation on my MSTY position. I'll get 2x that off of my MSTX position. And what we'll do is, after we start heading back up, once it starts reversing, once we hit about 30%, we're going to clip the position, buy some MSTY. And as we're buying that MSTY, we're going to switch over to the next position, which is the other side of the straddle. And a bunch of you already know, because a bunch of people on Reddit kind of put me onto this. I can't say that this was my idea, because I don't normally hedge on the downside. And that is to my detriment, honestly, with something that's this volatile. Jockeying that window and getting the upside and the downside while keeping the constant being the MSTY position just makes sense. So we are looking at the T-Rex 2X Inverse MSTR Daily Target ETF, MSTZ. Now, what's that mean? You're hedging to the downside. You're going, hey, this might drop back down, which MSTY does. It bounces a lot. Currently, market's going bedlam. MSTZ is up 16.9% today. Pretty awesome. So I want to be able to capture the up and downside of MSTY. Again, the constant being MSTY. So like, I'm not selling off MSTY to get into these positions. This is just as I'm buying. If I'm buying down and we're buying into the red and we don't know when the knife is falling, we're going to systematically put in $100, $200 buys of MSTX going down. Now, when MSTY is pumping and it's past my buy average, and at this juncture, this next go around, I will not be dollar cost averaging up. Most likely, I will focus in on LFGY and get my weekly pay up, because I have a good bag now. By the time this is all said and done, we should be at over 1,100 shares of MSTY. Now, I do want to get as much as I can, but I want to get as much as I can. And credit to the Reddit community. It's one of those things, you start reading how people are doing, and like, you start talking to people, because for me, MSTY is a very long-term buy. But as I'm doing the long-term buy within the income portfolio, I will be stacking up on MSTZ, which is not necessarily an income generating ETF. What I will be doing though is building that position up because it dips really low. Like I've seen it low. Like it gets down into the change, especially when we start running up heavily. And I'll just keep buying and buying and buying. And then if we have another 30% retracement, I'll have a large position in that. For the income part of it, we'll be going into LFGY because I'm fine buying that either way because I'm not going to, I'm almost at my metric for MSTY. We will be buying LFGY, which is also yield max, until we get to at least $100 a week. Because once we start redeploying the margin, we'll be using that plus the big payments for Misty to start clearing some debt. But then when we hit those dips, when MSTZ goes up 30%, we can also sell that off to buy Misty at those lower rates so that we can lower our cost averages. Now, this obviously, after being in the markets for a year, like certain things are making a little bit more sense through the bull run because this is my first bull run on this side of the market and not being just solely in crypto. The crypto stuff is easy for me. This is building a strategy for this is a little bit more in depth because we have different tools and different levers we can pull. But the constant here is my Misty position. We're going to keep protecting that income. And when opportunity presents itself and it goes on sale, we will buy at those sale prices. If we go up 100% from here and we get back to $40 and then we drop down to $30, even though that's above my average, we'll still have that MSTZ position that we've been purchasing at those higher rates, waiting for it to go down, which we'll be getting for cheap because when Misty goes up and MSTR goes up, MSTZ goes down. And so we'll have that pool of money and we will buy as those sell-offs once we start hitting those sell-off metrics to start selling a couple of hundred shares, because that's how we're going to buy it. $100 here, $200 there on the way up as part of our money getting allocated over. And that's just protecting ourselves on the downside. And we're going to do the same thing while these prices are down, while I'm under my average. When we go do buys, we'll be doing couple of $100 or $50. It just depends because it depends on how the W-2 income that comes in, instead of just dumping that straight all into Misty, there's going to be a portion of that goes into buying some MSTX shares because we want to catch that upside run. And as we're running up before we get past our buy average, we can get some additional shares of MSTY. And we're going to swap it over. And then as that income comes in, we'll put in those plays on MSTZ while we're building up our LFGY position. So that's my updated Misty strategy. I have not lost heart. I have sold some things to buy some more Misty. And that kind of is what it is. I mean, I can't say too much more about that besides, yeah, I'm going to continue to buy Misty. It is my long-term play. When the market gets bad, that's what I do. I look at positions and I figure out what my high convictions are and consolidate into those. That's literally all that I'm doing with this. It's a consolidation into the highest conviction to prepare for this market turnaround, because at this point, I want the most income out of this portfolio. I also want the most upside out of this portfolio, and shifting it to a income focused straddle play, just like what I have in my long-term holding portfolio for MSTR. I don't see why I wouldn't do the same thing over here. And that way the portfolios are both having some sort of hedging up and down. Because indefinitely I'm a bull, but I would like to get more of those core positions on the downside also, and that's where the MSTZ comes in for me. It's not that I don't believe in MSTY. It's not that I don't believe in MicroStrategy, but they're both volatile up and down. So we want to capture that both up and down and then be able to get more of those core holdings, which is MSTY for income and MSTR for long-term growth and asset protection, because it's going to outperform everything. As far as traditional finance goes, it's going to actually do a little bit better than Bitcoin. So I look at that as Bitcoin that I'm willing to sell off. I currently since I broke the Bitcoin metric and got past my initial goal of 1 Bitcoin, I want to have the equivalent of 1 Bitcoin in MSTR stock to get that gamified upside. So that's a 50-50 split, with 50% of it being in 1.5x long, and getting me to the point to where if I do need to dip into my portfolio a little bit, that's the Bitcoin that I'm willing to sell, being the MSTR stock position. We should never get to that point because we're going to have so much money in the income portfolio that we're building out that it should not be an issue. But we'll see. And we're tracking the growth, and you get to see the updates every month. This month was brutal. I hope the haters got to love it. I hope those of you who are in the wolf pack are understanding that I'm in here in the trenches with you. We are all gaining and losing money together. Like, I'm literally talking about the moves that I'm making and showing the receipts, showing that we're down 30%. 32% today. I looked today when I did the sales. I was like, ugh, we're locking in losses. I don't feel good, but we're going to get it back on the back end. We're going to fight out of that hole. But yeah, so that's where we're at. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That's my spiel on going all in on MSTY, what that is for me and my portfolio size. It's not as big as some of the rest of yours. I'm trying to keep it around 30, but it's so hard with the market volatility and the way that I'm slating this portfolio out, making it harder on myself. But that's what focus conviction's all about. And the income's going to be there. So that's the reason for the income portfolio. I was never expecting it to be in the green. It just feels good to beat your chest when you make good decisions. But I think that we're going to get some pretty good results from the straddle play with MSTY. And that's the reason I wanted to update it with you guys, because obviously I want the Wolfpack on the latest and greatest information. So we slotted out the video that I was going to upload today. And we're uploading this one instead. You'll see that video next week. Till next week, people. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. Make sure you hit that like. It's your second reminder. Hit that like button on the way out. Or hit the thumbs down. I don't care. Hater. Do what you got to do. Secondly, if you've been here more than twice, hit that subscribe. Thirdly, and most importantly, if this video has given you some game, please share it with your circle, your community, your people, because over here in the Wolfpack, there's always room for more. And we're not trying to get rich by ourselves, because that's no fun. If you're the only person eating at the table and everybody else is starving Marvin, shame on you. Nobody respects that guy. Till next week, people, it's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are out. Peace.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't play, man, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.